I truly do not know how or even why I'm doing this. This is absolutely nuts. What is going on, everyone? We are apple hunting in probably one of the most amazing places ever, Grosse Ile, Michigan. I am so excited about it. We are on a mission from several leads we've gotten online to hunt for some of the rarest, most amazing apple and pear varieties in the whole United States. I am excited. Let's go. So we are on the island of Grosse Ile. It is south of Detroit, and Grosse Ile has an incredible history. One of the most incredible histories of apples, I think, in probably the entire world, but definitely the entire United States. And there was a report. What actually brought me down here to the island of Grosse Ile was I was reading through a book of the history of Michigan apples, and in the book there was a remark about Grosse Ile which just caught my attention only because our videographer Hannah lives nearby, and so I would probably have not really given it much thought. I would have maybe thought, oh, that's cool, but because of the novelty of it, it caused me to look more into it, which then allowed me to realize just how important Grosse Ile actually is to pomology, which is the study of apples. And there was a report back from the 1700s that said that Grosse Ile was so densely planted with apples that in some areas, apples covered nearly a half a foot deep. Absolutely incredible. And the size of them were basically what they were called pippins, which is a small apple. And the history around Grosse Ile is that back in the late 1600s, early 1700s, the Potawatomi Indians actually colonized this island. They set up camps and they started to trade with the French. They used this island as basically a trade route with the French. The French would trade apples and apple trees for pelts and other goods. And then in the middle of the 1700s, the Jesuit missionaries, they were French Jesuit missionaries, came to try to convert the Potawatomi Indians. Upon failing to do so, they set up small little settlements and would plant out small plantations and farms of apple trees. Then fast forward, the land was sold in the early 1800s to the British, and the British then bought the island from the Potawatomi Indians. And once the land was purchased, they began to plant out apple trees from Britain as well. So this island has an incredible history of apples, and it is amazing. We're here at our first stop to an old farm. We got a lead on Facebook. This was an old farm site. They have a couple trees here that we can get cuttings from. So one of these trees that we are going to be collecting samples from is from a pear tree. Now, pear trees were brought over by the Jesuit missionaries, and when they brought these over, they were French varieties of pears. And as you can see from this right here, we got this as a lead from someone on Facebook, and it almost looks like a pine tree. It is so gnarly. The bark is just blocky, and you can tell, I would say, conservatively, this tree is probably one of the originals. I would say it's probably close to 170 years old, if not slightly older. This thing is a beast, is absolutely gigantic. And by the looks of things, it's really healthy. So we are going to get quite a few cuttings from these lower branches here. Convenient because I don't have to reach very far, but check out, look how tall this thing is. This thing is absolutely giant. So that is all I'm gonna take from this tree. Very excited. This is really cool. This thing is, man, you don't find trees that old that often. Only in places with really rich history. I'm just cutting these down to size so they can fit in the bags here. I'll have a couple tiny little grafts. I'll have to do bark grafts, which is fine, or a cleft graft, I should say. Some of these smaller, spindlier ones too. They're not quite thick enough to have the diameter needed for grafting, but I can always graft those onto some larger cuttings and just kind of wedge them in and hope they take. They'll have a lot less take rate, but some will take. That is very exciting. All right, on to the next one. We got another lead here for another apple tree, just based on the trunk size and knowing kind of roughly how large they get. I would say this apple tree is probably in the 90 to 110 years old range. They get a lot larger than that, but the You can also tell by how chunky the bark is too, because the older they get, the more gnarly the bark gets. So it's still in fairly good shape, but the one thing that I'm noticing with a lot of these trees on Grosse Ile is that the scion wood is small, like real small and almost non-existent. And so it'll be a bit of a challenge to get some cuttings, but I do think we can get creative and get some cuttings from some of the upper branches. So I'm gonna get some cuttings. All right, I'm gonna go for some of these outer branches, have some good growth. If I can pull this branch down just far enough. There's one, there we go, there we go, there's that one. So that is, I mean, this, like I said, this is pretty standard of what we're finding on Grosse Ile. Is a lot of these really old apples, they just don't produce the robust scion wood that you'd come to expect from like a modern apple, which tells the age, but also is the cultural significance of these apples. Oh, there's another one over here. I won't be able to get to it without a ladder. I wish I would have brought a small little extension handle. There's a bunch of new growth up there. There's just this one right, there's this one right here that I just need a little more height. Oh, I got it, there we go. Come on. I just need, oh, I wish I would have been made 3 inches taller. There we go. Yay, that's it, that's the one. That was a lot of work for one scion, but holy smokes, was that worth it? Okay, good, yay. Wow, you saved the day with that. I never would have been able to reach that. Okay, so this is absolutely crazy. We were just driving down the side of the road. I just found probably one of the most oldest messed up apple trees that I've seen in a very, very, very long time. According to a plat map I was looking at, this whole area right here, right along the river, they called them ribbon farms. We'll talk more about that in a second because I want to get out because, again, this is just on the side of the road. I don't need to draw too much attention to what we're doing, but these ribbon farms were founded by the French, and it was a way for them to transport goods via the river, and they were long and slender. Very, very cool. All right, let's go. Oh no, the tree fell over. Ow, the tree fell over. I don't know, ow. I don't know if this tree is actually alive. Shoot, no shot. This tree fell over. Oh my gosh, that's so devastating. That is such a bummer. Oh my gosh, I wonder how long ago this tree fell over. Ow, this is such an old tree. Oh, this tree, yeah, it must have fallen over a long time ago. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Well, that is a bummer. That is such a bummer. Oh, man. There's no more. That was just the one apple tree. That is a bummer. Well, it just goes to show. I mean, you can't save them all, one. And number two, it is a race to save them because people a lot of people just don't care. They just fall over due to old age, or they get pushed over, knocked over, and it just is how it is. All right, well, on to the next tree. Now, the French founded ribbon farms. They were kind of the inventor of ribbon farms. And here in the Great Lakes region, I mean, between the St. Clair River, the Detroit River, and even up into Lake Huron, you had ribbon farms lining. And then also here on Grosse Ile, you had them lining the land here. And so you see these long stretches of land. I mean, since they've really been broken up and sold off, but when you find these really old stretches of farmland near the river, almost all of them were the old ribbon farms. So more agricultural history. That might have been an apple tree back there. All right, I'm gonna pull a U-turn and we're gonna check it out. This one was a bit of a crazy one. This one is attached to, well, the property line used to extend way back, and then it was bought by the country club. And so they've got some old, super old apple trees back here. It also seems like they might have some pear trees. So these are super old. Oh yeah, they actually look like they're pears. Wow, oh my gosh, yes. This might be a pear kind of day. These are pears, most definitely pears. And you can tell, again, by the way the bark looks. Very cool. Some of these ones are so tall, you can't get scion wood even if you tried on those ones. But some of these ones, wow, look at this. Look at how crazy this is. Look at that, you reach right up there. I'll tell you, this has been a very worthwhile trip. The home site that the country club bought this from was from the mid-1800s. So this is definitely worth checking out for sure. Can't take any cuttings. It's too tall. This one I can take cuttings from, but it looks relative. I mean, the size of it's really small and it's kind of stumpy. who cares, whatever. All right, I'm sitting here making decisions as if it's gonna make a big deal. I'm sure it's probably cool no matter what. And who knows, maybe it's a dwarf tree. It's got this, look at this. It's got this really crazy, that honey colored stem to it, like we saw in that other one. We'll take a couple of cuttings from here, and here we go. All right, we should be all set. All right, let's get out of here. So I know that we kind of came to get apples, and we have gotten some apples, but the really surprising surprise has been how many pears we've gotten. I was not expecting to get this many pears, but the history of the island does actually play into the reasoning as to why there are so many pears, but I wasn't expecting it. So it's been quite a pleasant surprise, honestly, that we've gotten as many pears as we did. Because, like I said, pears are just as cool, in my opinion, as apples, and they have just as many historic stories as apples do. So, yeah, I'm not bummed by that whatsoever. All right, so we stopped by Kroger to get some kombucha, and because we're on an island, I got the island bliss, of course. Got to be on brand. And we are stopping at one of our last stops of the day. Very excited about this one. Also very nervous. So this stop that we are stopping at, I will say we do not have permission for. I don't condone trespassing, but it's also in a very weird gray area. I had two individuals that reached out that said that it may be a park or maybe private property. Now, the reason why is because apparently this land was deeded a long time ago to the city to be considered an open space. Basically, Grosse Ile has a lot of open spaces. It basically just means areas where you can walk, but it's not technically a park. It's really weird. Like, I don't know anywhere else anywhere really that has them. And there was an old home site that had an old apple orchard, and it was tore down, and now it's held up in litigation between developers or being turned into a park, according to sources. And one of the reasons why the stakes are so high and why I'm willing to kind of sacrifice some embarrassment or confrontation is because the stakes are so high due to the fact that this is one of the only known places or sources for Heritage Apple's crazy house that is still around. These developments, all these huge houses, I mean, they are just developing and developing. And when they sell land to developers, there's a lot of land value and they don't care about the trees at all. I would guarantee you, if the land gets sold to a developer and does not get turned into an open space, even if it gets turned into an open space, probably still they're going to take out those trees. But a developer is absolutely just going to cut the trees down. So this is one of our final stops. Very nervous about it. It's going to be a little bit hectic, but I'm also there for it. I live for moments like this. So, all right, we'll see you guys there. So this is absolutely crazy. I truly do not know how or even why I'm doing this. This is absolutely nuts. Sketchy level 1000. Questioning myself. Oh my gosh. This is absolutely insane. Like, this ranks up there the craziest things I've ever done. So what we are essentially doing is we are coming into an area of Michigan that has historically had some of the oldest presence of apples known in the entire United States. So what happened was the Native Americans met the French, and the French traded with them apples, and not only apples, but apple trees. And when the Native Americans came to this part of Michigan, they colonized an island, and they essentially started planting these apple trees throughout the island. And what happened is you had essentially apple varieties being planted from as early as, some reports say, the 1600s onward. And that would make these apples essentially the oldest in the entire United States. A lot of these trees, they have names, but those names have since been long lost. So we are doing our best to do whatever we can, because these trees, number one, they're dying. A lot of these trees have died over the years. But number two is a lot of these trees have been completely destroyed through land developments. So we just regrouped at the car, and I was really pleased. There's a couple we could only get from that one tree, and this other tree I got a decent amount from. That was very promising, because ultimately we're going to get probably 2 to 3 trees from each one of these cuttings. And so this one has a potential for 50 or 60 apple trees, which seems like a lot of trees. Some won't make it, some won't survive the graft. This one's a goner. This is not even alive. This apple tree here, look at this, look at that, mushrooms. That's all I can tell you. It's unfortunate. That one's gone. This one, oh yeah, this one's gone too. Oh yeah, there's nothing in these. These are brown. Oh boy, that's sad. Okay, all right, well, that's exactly why we made this trip, you guys. There's very little new growth left, but we're getting some good scion wood despite the neglect. Okay, so there we go. I'll take those. And again, I don't know what we're gonna do necessarily with this tree because of the fact that it seems like it might be a crab apple. There's clearly people all around. They're burning stuff next door. So we're just gonna be as inconspicuous as possible.
Be very, very quiet.
And check back here to see if there's a couple apple trees. Oh yeah, there's an apple tree back here. Oh yes, please be alive. There's also, oh, there's one in the woods. Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys, this might be the find. This might be the find. Oh my goodness, you guys, this might be the find. Oh my gosh, this might be the find. This is a pear. This is a pear. And I'll tell you what, I am so pumped about it. It is in very, very poor shape. But this, so give you a little history background. The French Jesuits, they sent missionaries to the island first to try to convert the Native Americans that were living on the island, the Potawatomi Indians. And they brought with them some pears. Now, French pears are some of the most prized pears in the entire world. And I cannot believe it, but we just stumbled across a beautiful, absolutely beautiful little, I mean, it's been, well, it's not beautiful, I'll be honest, but to me it's beautiful because this provides us with an incredible opportunity. I am shaking right now. I cannot believe that this is happening right now. I just cannot get over this. And this pear is very, very, very old and very neglected. But you can tell, just look at the beautiful color on these scions. Oh my gosh, they're just this absolutely beautiful honey brown. Incredible, absolutely outstanding, just crazy. I'd want to take more, but I don't want to take too many. Still, despite the fact this is probably going to get destroyed, I still have to respect the fact that this tree is going to be around for a while. So that's about it for today. I will say, very productive day. I'm really excited about what we found today. And yeah, we did find more pears than apples, but at the end of the day, we came with a mission accomplished. We were able to preserve and save, I think, about 11 different varieties of apples and pears combined. So very, very exciting. And as we were driving home, look what we found. We found a Marion Park on Grosse Ile, and it happens to be an open space. Again, what is an open space? I don't understand. There's no place to park. It's just the most random thing in the world. So I love it. It's super cool. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely a very cool episode. And please make sure you like this video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you want to join us for more cool adventures and preserving heirlooms. And we'll catch you all in the next episode. As always, take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care.